All right. Good evening, everyone. I can't thank you all for making your way this evening. Wind, rain, traffic nuttiness, and this first attempt of having this alumni panel. Yes, round of applause to everyone here. I mean, for reals, I can't thank you all enough for being here tonight. My name is Sheldon. I'm one of the counselors here at Kapiolani Community College. I, along with Roman, who you met out there, had this great idea of bringing soon-to-be graduates to meet graduates to learn about life after graduating from this wonderful institution, Kapiolani Community College. Just so you know, it's very informal. So if you folks out in the audience have questions, please ask it. I'll repeat it because we're actually, if you look at that camera behind you, we are live, also live streaming. And so for those of you who never comb their hair in the back or do stuff like that, it's on camera. But anyway, let's just get started. So I want to thank our panelists. So they are working professionals, busy day, but here they are to spend time with you folks here at KCC. But let's just go with introductions. I'll have them introduce themselves. We'll start from my far right. If you could share your name, your employment, and when you graduated from KCC.
Okay, let me think now. So I'm Jasmine Tamanaha. I have been with Hawaiian Airlines for the last 19 years of my life. I've grown up there. Immediately after KCC, I graduated, I believe, in 2004 with an AS in travel and tourism. And I've been with Hawaiian ever since in many different capacities. Hopefully more to come in the future, but yeah, that's me.
So 19 years at Hawaiian Air, so you started when you were 5?
Yeah, 4.5, I like to think.
Very nice. Hello, everyone. My name is Kiana Beimes. I am with Outrigger Resorts and Hotels. I've been with them for 10 years. I graduated in May of 2013.
All right.
Nice to be back.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Kerwinn Mendoza. I am currently working with Southwest Airlines. I've been there for about 1.5 years already. I'm currently a ramp agent there. I graduated at KCC in 2020, the prime of COVID, so I'm the youngest one here.
And not to show my age, I knew Kerwinn since he was in high school. So
My first counselor in KCC.
unfortunate for him. Anyway. Okay, next.
Hello, I'm Bart. I work at the Kahala Hotel and Resort, very close by here, actually. A couple of minutes drive. I've been there for about 12 years almost.
Wow.
I'm the director of front office operations there. And I graduated in 2011. So right after I graduated here, I went there and have been there ever since. So
Wonderful. So this is where the storytelling comes in, and I want you folks to be as honest as possible, unfiltered if you can. So here in the internet world, me personally, I want to know what your journey was like after you graduated from high school. I work with a lot of students who are thinking about college, who feel that there's a certain timeline or a certain way to start their college journey. So if you don't mind sharing, from when you graduated from high school, if you could share your college journey. Maybe we'll start with you, Bart.
for me, that's a little bit longer.
Go for it.
I come from Belgium originally. That's my home country, and I used to be a high school teacher there. So when I graduated high school, I took up a degree in education, and I became a teacher for middle school and high school. And then I was doing that for about 7-8 years, and then I had the opportunity to come to Hawaii. So I moved to Hawaii, and then I found out I couldn't teach here because you have to be a resident or a citizen to teach, which I wasn't at the time. So I had to do something else. So I took up a degree in hospitality. I was like, I'm in the beautiful Hawaii, so why not take hospitality? And I ended up here at KCC and with these wonderful people and instructors. And then I graduated here, and then right after that, I basically contacted the people from the Kahala Hotel and Resort because I had met them during one of the gala events from KCC, where KCC assists. And then you meet people, and then they give you the business card and like, oh, call me when you graduate. And then you call them, and then they remember you, and then that's how the ball started rolling. So connections is important. But that's how I ended up basically at first at KCC and then at the Kahala.
So now I'm not going to let you go just yet. So when you were a high school teacher or middle school teacher, you had already earned your college degree in that field in your host country?
That's correct.
If you could share with the group, in person and online, what that was like when you had to change your career in your adulthood.
Well, I was basically teaching there, and I was having a good time. Teaching is very rewarding. But then, like I said, I had the opportunity with my partner at the time to move countries. And that's a decision we made. So you threw everything upside down, which is a little bit scary. You move like literally the other side of the world. It's 11 time zones. So that's about as far as you can get. And it's a little bit scary because I literally moved with 2 suitcases. So that's your whole livelihood that you carry on a plane, and then you come to a new place where you don't know anybody. It's a different language. Okay, I had English in school and so forth, but like it's a big step. But like, happy I did it. This is a great place to be, and I hope you all realize that. Sometimes they say like, lucky we live Hawaii. Just remember that every day because it's true.
So you came here with 2 suitcases. My goodness.
Yeah, that was it.
Kerwinn, what's your story?
Oh, right after high school, right? Well,
after high school.
like Sheldon mentioned, I knew him from high school.
Which was last year.
Yes, actually, no. I graduated in 2014, but prior to that, I was actually taking some dual credit college classes while I was in school. Sheldon was there to guide me along the way. It's funny, I was never a hospitality student at first. Hospitality tourism. What was it? Was it like computer science, IT, something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, I was more of like the techie, nerdy kind of guy. And then at one point, kind of lost a sense of direction. So I was doing part-time jobs, just thinking about the money and whatnot. And then came to me that I don't know what I was doing. I have family with military background, and they suggested for me to enlist into the military. Let that thought process kind of milk out for a bit. I enlisted for 4 years in the U.S. Air Force, active duty. I was an aircraft mechanic in that time. Came back, used my benefits, back to KCC. I realized that I loved working with people. I love interacting, seeing people smile on their face and whatnot. So I came back, pursued that, graduated in 2020. Couldn't really talk to much people because of COVID. But, with the skills I've had and, acquired from the professors here and my fellow students as well, it's a gift for sure. My advice is that, when you're thinking about furthering your education, there's no rush. You take your time. Like I said, 2014, I graduated. I never got my associates till 2020. So, hey, I got it now, and here I am in the professional field.
That is awesome, Kurt. Thank you. Kiana, what is your story?
I can totally relate. I love that you said that you should take your time, and also that you didn't know what you were doing.
Right.
Because that's my story too. So I graduated high school in 2008 at Kapiolani High School, which is just down the road. I was the only one of my friends that got into UH Manoa. So what did I do? I went to UH Manoa. The rest of my friends actually came to KCC, and I don't know why I didn't just follow suit. But I went to UH Manoa because I was really excited to get in. I was the first of my family to go to a university system school, so I was thrilled. I got there, and it was a totally different story. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I pretty much took everything that they had. I took astronomy, I took psychology, I took sociology, I took zoology because it was a study of animals. Has anyone taken that before? It's the animals you can't see. It's underneath the microscope. So I took so many different things. I took music, just trying to find what was my passion. And I actually contemplated dropping out of college altogether and just working full time because I was putting myself through school. I was actually working at a Chemo Bean, which is a coffee shop, a local coffee shop. So I was so discouraged, and I talked to a family member, and that person told me, why don't you just go to KCC? And I don't know why I hadn't thought of that before. So I did that. And I remember I was just doing the same thing, taking creative writing, taking other classes that were not in the host program. But I did have one friend that was in the host program, and she told me about all these opportunities. She actually went on the Disney internship program. Yeah, Disney college program. And she went to Anaheim. She got a job there. She ended up staying there for more than 2 or 3 years. And so because she was always raving about it, I figured, oh, well, maybe I should try that too. I've already tried everything else. So I enrolled in the host program here, I believe it was 2010. And I had an instructor, Chelsea Chong. And do you remember her? She made me so excited. I don't know when she stopped working at KCC, but I just remember being in her class from day one. I was just over the moon, and it made me so excited. I finally knew what I wanted to do. I found my passion. So just like Kerwinn said, you just want to take your time. Slow down if you have to, but don't give up. And that's what I did, because I took only maybe sometimes one class, sometimes 2 classes, whatever I could manage with my workload. But eventually I made it. I took 5 years, don't worry. But yeah, go slow, believe in yourself, never give up. And that's how I got here today.
Right on. That's a great story. So Jasmine, tell
Okay,
us your story.
I would be remiss if I didn't say Kerwinn Hawaiian Airlines is actively recruiting aircraft mechanics as we speak.
Small kind plug.
There's a reason why I got out of the military. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, right? If you change your mind after tonight, they know how to find me. Let's talk story. No, but in all seriousness, I'm from the Big Island. I am from Waimea. I'm not sure if anybody knows where Waimea is. I graduated Lapahoehoe High School, which is the smallest high school in the state of Hawaii. And the reason why I went to Lapahoehoe instead of Honoka'a, my home school, is because Honoka'a had the highest pregnancy rate in the state of Hawaii at the time. And my mother said, no way, Jose. I'm like, Ma, it's the person, not the school. Anyways, long story short, I ended up graduating Lapahoehoe. I knew that I wanted to be a flight attendant. That was it. All I wanted to do was be a flight attendant. I don't care how I got there. I just wanted to fly on Kapiolani, Hawaiian Airlines, for the rest of my life. And then I started flying. I never flew as a kid because we were too poor. So we never flew. So I didn't take my first flight until college. Got on the flight. I realized how scared I was of flying. But I still loved Kapiolani. And so, I knew, okay, I want to be a flight attendant. What am I going to do? I got to do tourism, right? KCC, I wanted to get away from the Big Island because I probably could have took hospitality and tourism classes at home on the Big Island. But I wanted to get away, right? Independent. I'm an adult. I can do what I like. Nobody can tell me nothing. And so I chose KCC just kind of on a whim, to be quite honest. Threw out the penny into the pond, got here, felt like family. People knew my name. I wasn't ID number 67205, right? I was Jasmine Santana at the time. And similar, right? Met Rosalie and also Cheryl Fucino Nishida. Wanted to quit probably 265 times, but they never let me.
Cheryl's online, by the way.
Hi, Cheryl. It's all your fault. But really, it's all about okay, I want to fly. Okay, no, I don't want to fly anymore, but I still want to work for Hawaiian Airlines. That's my dream. That's the dream job there, right? So it was just a matter of starting classes, right? And then as a kid, as the first one to go to college in your family, it's like, shoot, I kind of give up now, right? You're already there. You got to keep going. And it's as real as it is. I ended up loving it the first year. I had some independence. I had a job. I was going to school from 7:45 in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then running down to Genki Sushi to work at my first job because I was broke and I needed money. And then I just did that day in and day out. And I think what kept me here was the peeps, the people.
Yep.
Just the peeps. And like Mr. Evans, Miss Rosalie, Cheryl, I mean, it was always, they had my back, right? And walking across the stage at graduation was like, oh, bro, I did it, right? And so now it's, okay, now you got to get the job and you got to actually be somebody, right? So yeah, that's my journey.
That's awesome. So the folks in the audience, show of hands, who's going to be graduating this upcoming semester? Who's graduating soon? No one yet. Who is close to graduating? I see a hand back there. Who here is in their first year of college? Show of hands. Okay, all right. Okay. So follow up to a lot of your questions, and up to who wants to take this on. What was it like getting your first job after college?
So prior to Southwest, that was not my first job after college. I worked with Roberts Hawaii, and no, I was not driving the tour buses. Mind you, like I said, 2020, I was doing the COVID screening at the airport. So for those of you who've flown in from the mainland to here during COVID pandemic, yeah, we would have to screen everybody, make sure they had negative tests or a vaccine, or else you would have to quarantine for X amount of days. You can tell me how many people I had to quarantine, and they were not happy about staying in their room for 10 days, 14 days. But getting to the question, after landing that job, it felt good. I had something to finally to continue to do. It wasn't something that I knew I was going to do as a career because I knew, COVID's not going to last long, I think. But it got me into the kind of the idea of how the airport operated because I knew where all the gates were. I knew where I had to be. I knew which airlines I had to go to. Okay, the Hawaiian Airlines at A gates right now. Southwest is at G gates. Well, now they're at E gates now, but I knew I had to run back and forth and all that. So it got me a better understanding of how to just maneuver myself in the airport, and which is resourceful for me. And then once the contract ended with Roberts Hawaii to do the COVID, I decided to find another job with the field of industry that I want to be in. And Southwest just was so happening to be hiring, and I got my foot in the door there.
All right. Okay, so anyone else would like to add to that?
I think my first job was Genki Sushi because it was the closest thing on the bus route. I lived on Date Street. You're probably all very familiar with Date Street. But honestly, yeah, I mean, I loved that job because I could be happy, right? Like, you go and find so many jobs, and it's like, oh my God, people don't like their job. But Genki Sushi was so happy, and when you walk in the door, they greet everybody, right? And I worked there for a little bit until, obviously, Paradise Cruise. I met one of the cruise directors at Genki Sushi, and same thing, slipped me his business card. And then I ended up going over to the boat, Star of Honolulu, and started as a hula dancer, and then a server, bartender, and then in sales. But just kind of worked my way through there. But really, that first job, man, I got in trouble though at my first job because I was so young and just free and just, you don't know, right? You just learning, but just try. Just be yourself, be authentically yourself, try and work hard, and opportunities find you. No, they're not gonna come knock on your door, so you gotta do a little bit work. But if you're a good person, you work hard, you're positive, guarantee opportunities gonna come. That's all that matters, right? Hard work and good attitudes. Really that simple. Everything else can be either taught or you can learn at school. You can educate yourself. So.
Yeah, who wants to add to that? So getting that first job after graduating, what was that like?
Okay, well, so actually I had an internship, which if you haven't done it yet, you will do it, and it's awesome. My internship was with Outrigger Reef, and even, to be honest with you, even getting that unpaid internship, I was so thrilled because I felt like I had already won the lottery, and I was at my dream job wearing a uniform. I just felt like Kapi'olani, look at me, I have this, and I feel like I'm living the dream. And again, I was going there on top of working on top of school. But it was just so exciting to me. And I remember that 2 months into my internship, I did get offered a part-time job as a guest services representative at the Outrigger Reef on the Beach, as it used to be called. And even that was so exciting. I didn't have any guaranteed hours, but I felt totally exhilarated and very validated because, again, if you go slow, you will win the race. You will sustain your stamina. Your energy will be there. Your excitement is there. You network along the way. You never know who's gonna cross your path. And so for me, I'm still living the dream because I'm with Outrigger, and I've been there for 10 years. So I'm still very, very, very grateful.
Right on. So Bart,
I actually have two stories because I
Go for
graduated
it.
twice. So back in Belgium, I remember graduating, and then you have to go teach as a teacher, and then you have these students in front of you that are only a few years younger than you sometimes. So very daunting. It was very stressful. Like you don't know what you're doing. Like, okay, you do your studies and you think that that's going to help you, and then you suddenly are on the floor, and then, oh, what do I do now? And it takes a while to get used to things, and you get along. And actually, I experienced that the second time after I graduated. And okay, you get the classes here, and I have to give it to the instructors here and the programs. It's so very hands-on, and you get a lot of valuable information that you actually use. But that's all theory and practical stuff, like how do I do a check-in? How do I do a checkout? What's the principles behind it? I learned about rates and ADR and so forth. And then you come on the floor, and then it turns out you don't know anything. You don't know the computer programs. You don't know. And so you have to start again from new. And what I take away from that is like although it can be daunting to try something new, whether it's like your first job or other experiences, like you will fit in, you will get used to it. Just be open to learning new things. And my experience is certainly in hospitality, the industry you go to, people are there to make other people happy and to help. And what I've experienced is like everybody is there to support you. So same as here at KCC, like everybody, the instructors were so helpful and supportive. Like that's what I take away from that.
So what's really neat is in the audience we have students who are brand new to college, maybe 1 year in, some close to graduating. What would you say to them if they're having like this mid-college freak out moment? Like, oh my gosh, because I hear themes about being your authentic self, go outside your comfort zone. I'm sensing these common themes. So for these students who are perhaps going into their third semester, maybe just, again, having those moments like, oh my gosh, I'm really nervous about what's coming up next. How do you respond to that? What kind of advice can you tell these students if they're having this mid-college freak-out moment?
Well, maybe first of all, like if you think that you have freak out moments now, like so I'm 46 year old.
Lifetime of freak-out moments.
I'm 46-year-old. I'm the director of a department with 80 people.
Oh,
Like people always come to me and they think that I've got everything together, and then sometimes I have to close my door, and that's not the case. I think the trick or what to take away from that is that there's always new things and things you don't expect, and I'm not always sure what I want to do as well. And what I do is I rely on other people, and that's very important. That can be your friends, that can be your fellow students, hopefully friends as well, your instructors. Like, use other people to your advantage and to guide you. There's always somebody else that can help you, has a different insight. Tell them how you feel. Tell them like what you're doubting. For example, like if you take a couple of semesters and you're like not sure what you want to do, talk with other people and maybe they will give you some insight, and then you will say like, you know what, maybe this is what I want to do. And if it's not, like maybe you want to do something different, and that's fine as well. So use other people, like they can help you. There's other people with other experiences that can give you some insight. You're not alone. Like don't bottle it up and talk about it.
I think the same thing, right? I mean, my kids could probably answer this question for me, and it's basically the 2 P's. Stay patient. You need patience when it is very stressful, but you got to stay positive, right? I mean, just last night, my 15-year-old is crying on the dinner table because she has I don't know, geometry exam today, and she's gonna bomb it. I'm like, okay, take a step away. Be patient, calm down, you got the wrong attitude right now. It's very negative. Gotta be positive, right? And there's always obstacles. This is today's obstacle. You got to be able to channel that energy in you that is anxious and frustrated, don't know how you're going to get out of this. Step out, take a breather, come back to it when you have a little bit clearer head. Because I'm the very first one that said, I was going to quit plenty times. Because life was already hard. I never signed up for more hard, right, when I got away from my family. And it's still hard, okay? But it's different kind of hard. And then you learn, right? Oh, I had this experience the last time, okay? I handled this wrong this time. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try to see if I get a different result. So stay patient, stay positive, because that's all you can do.
So, when things get really hard, to the point, like you had mentioned, I've been on that ship too, where you just want to walk away and just give up. How do you push through that? Kiana, like, how did you, if you had those times, how did you push through those moments where, like, this is hard, I am done?
Well, I think it depends on what the person's going through. So I think the first step would be to identify what it is that is really troubling you. Because if you're not sure, I think first for me, I go outside. Like, you close the door. I'm like, okay, I'll be back. I have a meeting. And I just have to get some fresh air just to first collect myself. And then after that, I would just say, just write it out. Like, try to understand yourself a little bit deeper. And then sometimes even doing that alone, you'll get to know what is troubling you the most. Like, maybe it's geometry, and that would be mine for sure. For sure. But yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's because you're not a morning person. So all these morning classes are really, really conflicting with, your learning. There you go. Then you have to shift it to whatever, online or PM classes, or maybe you just discovered, you're more interested in the hospitality, hotel operations side, and you're in the transportation and tourism side. I just find, like what Bart was saying, if you deep dive into what's troubling you and you lean on others and all the resources, I think you'll understand yourself more, and that will help you find the answer. But I don't think it's like a one size fits all. Everybody's different, but you really have to understand what it is that's bothering you, and that's one of the things that we do at the hotel, right, Joy? We try to understand what the issue is that the guest is presenting, because they're not all the same. So if you just listen to yourself like you would listen to an upset customer or a guest, you will understand what the solution is to their issue, and I think it really helps.
That is great. Anyone else want to add to that? I mean, pushing through some tough times.
Just to piggyback on that, just rely on your peers, your friends, your family. There are some people who, when their times are tough, they like to be alone. There are other people who need to vent it out, need to tell someone about it. For me, it's a little bit of both. Sometimes I just need to be a little bit alone to myself, stay at home, watch some Netflix, I don't know. But I do talk to my family and friends. For me, like, as a trainer, seeing all these trainees, I'm like, oh, I don't want to have this mental thought of, I got to babysit you. No, stop, you're going to get yourself hurt. And it happens almost every day. My head's on a swivel, and it causes that stress. It causes that little small breakdown. And later in the day, I talk to my peers. I talk to my trainees. I'm like, hey, you know what you did wrong today? Have them understand. I tell them how to do the correct way, how to stay safe and whatnot. And at the end of the day, I unwind, go home, see if anything improves the next day, and sure enough, they listen. So, take those small baby steps, and then learn from that situation, because guarantee it's gonna happen again. It's not gonna be your last problem. It's not gonna be your last situation where you will be stressed out. And as life goes on, you're gonna realize it just happens almost every day. But not to scare you. It is. Overall, it's good. It's good, I promise.
I think, to piggyback, both great points, but here in this setting, at this school, you have professors that are paid professors to teach, right? But you also have counselors. Counselors are here for a reason as well, right? You're not the first one that's been frustrated. Me, first, probably. Tons of us, right? We all go through this. Lean in, knock on the door. Sometimes we shame to say, you know what, I struggling with this. You know, it sucks. It's humbling, right? You gotta say you're struggling because we gotta figure it all out. We gotta have everything figured out. We don't. We're young people trying to get ahead and figure life out. Lean in on your counselors. I mean, if Cheryl Fucino Nishida wasn't who she was, I mean, I still appreciate her today, right? I've cried in her office. I've said, I'm done. I quit in her office. I cannot handle this anymore. I've done it all. Lean in, right? They're counselors here for a reason. They're not teaching in the classroom because they're doing a really important role, supporting you outside of the classroom, supporting you in life, supporting you on campus, guiding, coaching you down the process, right? Sometimes maybe we cannot talk to our peers. We embarrass. Maybe our family cannot relate to us. They never been to college before. They don't know, right? That's real life situations. But our counselors are really good people, and they're here for a reason. Being a counselor, it's hard to be a counselor. You think somebody like deal with everybody's problems, listen to everybody's drama. That's one hard job. But they do it because they love it. They love kids. They love to see us succeed and grow, because chances are they were in that situation at one point too, right? So lean in, ask for help. Super humbling, but it's important. Gets us over the hurdle, and the next one, and the next one.
I have something to add. So with that, I would say celebrate the small wins, because the ultimate goal coming to college is to graduate and go off and do good in the world, right? But there's so many little small wins along the way. Like if you have the courage to seek out help from your peers and Cheryl and Sheldon, that's a small win. And I would just say, wow, I've made that decision to invest in myself. I didn't give up. That's a small win. If you're gonna go to those outside in the field events, ho'okipa, that's a small win, because you got to network and guarantee you met somebody. And even if you made a new friend, that's a small win. So just don't be so focused on the destination that you don't enjoy the journey, because that's definitely, especially of KCC, I have to say it was my favorite time of my life. I really enjoyed it because of the people, and there's so many small wins if you really do look around day to day, I promise.
That is really great. Any questions from the audience, be it from the teachers, the students? Anyone have any questions for the panelists? Unfiltered, honest questions for them. Anybody?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
We're regular people. Don't be shy.
Anybody? Well, I got one. So I'm kind of on the same wavelength as all of you. I was not supposed to graduate from high school. Like, I hated it. And so I came to Kapiolani because my sister told me to. Same thing. My dad got I think he went as high as 10th grade. My mom did graduate from high school, but she got her degree later on in life as a returning adult. And so for my sister and I, we're just kind of navigating through this college journey, just kind of mindlessly, because we just had no mentors telling us what to do. But KCC gave us that place to feel like we could do something for ourselves and for our community. So I think the reason why I'm in this position today is because what the school provided us. So I feel you, like KCC is just this magical place that hire people with these magical powers. And I don't know what they say in an interview, but there's just wonderful, wonderful people. So with that said, can you share, and you shared a lot already, what would you say is maybe your 2 huge takeaways from being a student at Kapiolani? Who wants to tackle that one?
Well, coming from teaching, I hope you all realize how fortunate you are to be in a setting as in KCC. I'm sure it's still the same. The groups are very small overall, and that gives the opportunity to be individualized. And what I take away from that is I've taught classes of 30 people, and I've taught classes of 10 people. And if you have to teach 30 people at the same time. It doesn't work the same as you do 10 people. So you're very fortunate with the setting here that you have. And then the training itself and the individuals who do the training and the classes are exceptional as well. I've seen other places where it is not like this. And I don't know if you might not have experienced other colleges because this is the first college you do. But so there is a lot of places, UH is one of them, like the groups are much, much larger. You're just a number. You come in, somebody talks in the front, you take some notes, and then it's like, okay, get out. And that's it. So you're very privileged and fortunate to have that opportunity here to work with these wonderful people to work towards your degree. And another thing I take away from this is the friendships you get along the way. Every year I see many people, and I have actually colleagues working at the Kahala that also graduated from here. We whenever we run into each other, it's always happy seeing each other and some good memories, and we always come back to KCC. So the relationships you build and the friends you make are just as important. So
one main takeaway from me is that at KCC versus like UH, any kind of universities, lecture halls, you don't get that that 1v1, that personal experience with your professors, your counselors, and whatnot. They actually come out and help you when you need it. Like you said, you're at a lecture, take the notes. Okay, you're done for today. Maybe maybe they'll help you at the end, but these people will personally take their time to help you, advise you, counsel you, coach you, and along that way, with that, you just learn how to be a better person too. This person's helping me. I want to be just like this person. Help them. Another takeaway from KCC is the networking, especially for the first year students here. Whatever events that are brought upon you from your professors, from counselors, or whatever, take those opportunities. You will meet people that they'll say, as he said, hey, come contact me when you graduate, because you never know, you might need that, you might want that job. And if you contact them, they will remember you. It's like, oh, I didn't think you would actually do it. So networking, have all these people, in the back of your head. Always think about them. Sheldon, I've known him for 10 years already. So, and here he is, right next to me again. But yeah, make sure you communicate, get to know each other, students, other faculty members, and possibly other employers out there when they come to talk to you during these events when they do happen.
Do you have another one? Sorry, did I cut you off? Okay. So my two takeaways, I feel like it's the same. It's really that I highly, highly encourage you guys to lean into your mentors, your peers, your faculty, your counselors. You have so many great resources in them. I definitely did, and I saw a huge difference coming from University of Manoa, and then here I got one-on-one, like you said, coaching, mentorship. I was able to create a plan for myself being at KCC. So really lean into them, and especially to you beginning students, I hope that you get excited and take advantage of every opportunity. KCC provides so many networking events. I truly can't believe it, because I feel like this particular program, it basically throws you into the hospitality field. Like, you are immersed in it, and it's almost like you're like an intern, but you're still a student. And so it's a huge, huge opportunity that I highly recommend. But then the flip side of that is that you can't rely on them to do everything. You can't go through the whole program. Okay, Dr. Evans, I'm ready for my job now. It depends on you too. So along the way, meet people, put your name out there, raise your hand for everything. I can't tell you how much that really helped me. Is sometimes you'll do a job, or you'll take an opportunity that maybe doesn't look like your dream job, but you'll do it, and you'll meet somebody who says, oh, I actually need somebody just like you. Here's my card. And so I would just say, do everything you can. Ask all the questions that you can. If you're not comfortable doing it in front of everybody, then you can also do it on the side, or reach out to us afterwards. But just ask all the questions and tap into your resources.
Okay, I think very similar. I mean, exact. Right? I'm in sales now, so 90% of my job is smiling at events representing Hawaiian Airlines. And I cannot, if I'm being truthful to you folks, unfiltered, I never really liked go ho'okipa night. I never liked wear the apron. But I did, right? Because it was a requirement and we had to do it, right? I wasn't enthused about those kind of things. I'm not gonna work restaurant. I go work for an airlines that's sitting behind one fancy desk and I could be somebody, right? I wasn't enthused, but I took every single event. I went to everything that they offered, not just because I had to, but I knew that eventually I'm gonna be in a situation where I gotta network, where I gotta stand up, entertain a group of 200 people. And that's where it started for me. I think about that night, Ho'okipa night, I think it was at the Royal Hawaiian or Sheraton, one of those back then. And, you know, greeting people, asking business smart people dressed nicely about their careers and serving them. And, you know, those type of events, I don't know. I never been to a big college. So I don't know if they offer those type of events, but they did here. And I feel like I'm a better employee, a better networker, a better, I can bring in real dollars for Hawaiian Airlines. I'm responsible for $40 million today. And a lot of that has to do with networking because I built trust with my clients today like I did when I went to all those events, right? And as uncomfortable as it was at the time, I remember how uncomfortable it was. I was one student. I never know nothing, right? It was uncomfortable, but you do it and you learn and you grow, and here I am. I'm not uncomfortable anymore because I had plenty practice, right? And KCC gave me that practice. It wasn't so much of sit down, listen to your lecture, do your test, and you're done, right? When I went to work for Hawaiian Airlines and Paradise Cruise and everything else that I did, I felt confident. Like, okay, I've done this before. I know how to hold on tray. I know how to serve off of a tray. I know where to put, you know, the salad, knife, and all of those things, right? All the little stuff, the small wins, right? All the small things. You may not use the exact program when you go work for the company, but you know the terminology. You better be learning your airport codes if you're taking one airline class from Rosalie, right? I already knew that when I went to Hawaiian Airlines, right? So all the little things, the networking, and then the only other thing that has really brought me joy, and I would encourage to all of you, is speak your graduation into existence, because you are going to graduate. This is just the start, whether you're starting or you're on your way out, and then come back, right? Because when I was sitting there were people up here that told us similar things, right? And we listened, okay, bye, I got other things to do, right? But I'm here today because I know what it feels like to be in that role, right? Plenty of us come from many different walks of life, right? Some good, some bad, some rich, some poor. It doesn't matter. You're learning, you're growing, and then give back, because that's the beauty of the program today. I love how they bring us back and they prioritize us alumni to come back, do mock interviews, talk to students, because we ohana, right? It's not just the cliche here in Hawaii. It is alive and well. So that's been my best takeaway.
Funny. I'm thinking back to Ho'okipa.
David's
great
right here.
Point,
you know.
Great point. Because it's also a really good way. Like, these events are great for you to learn what you don't want to do. Because I actually did think I wanted to be in food and beverage, and then I learned that I can't carry a tray. I dropped it every time. I did it 2 times to the Ho'okipa night, and I couldn't do it. I tried and I fell, and even Kiana. I was pouring wine all over the table. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I better go to front office. I don't know. So yes, I guess that was a win. I don't know. But I learned what I didn't want, and that process of elimination kind of helped me to understand myself. And that was one of the things that stressed me out. So to your other question of, like, what do you want to do? How do you push through it? You just got to learn what you like. And how do you do that? Going and doing the thing. So, yeah.
You know, what's super cool about college is that when you look through the graduation requirements, you see, I got to do English 100, I got to do math, I got to do this, I got to do that. But, you know, there's like 3 themes that came up as you guys were talking through this college experience: is confidence, passion, and resiliency. So it's almost like that's the unwritten thread that goes through all your courses and through all your journey. So for like final words to those here and to those online, and we're actually going to repost this video. Any final words as these folks kind of go off into their next chapter? Any words of advice?
I guess I'll start. We live in an Amazon world. Everybody wants it fast, cheap, and what they want, and they can return at any time. Well, nothing worth it comes that easy, right? This world that we live in is fast, cheap, and if I don't like it, too bad. I'm gonna say I don't like it. I'm gonna get my money back, return it. If you really want to succeed in not just life, but school, slow down. You don't have to have it figured out right now. You don't have to have it all figured out. Keep learning, keep trying, keep growing, and eventually it always tends to work itself out, right? So many young people that I talk to, I do way too many career days and, aviation days, and so many people are like, I gotta do this. Great, have a plan, think about it. But one day that plan may change, and that's okay. It's really okay. I hope that you always come back here and seek advice and help and knowledge from KCC, because I love the program as much as I hope you do. But really, figure it out. Go through life, right? There's plenty challenges in the world. And when you get out into the workplace, I promise you, gonna have plenty challenge. Everything you do get challenged. But find the small wins. Find what you really passionate about and just work hard. And you're gonna notice that 10, 20, 30 years down the line, it's like, dang, I had a really, it's been nice. It's been a nice ride. Now what more can we do? So that would be my advice. Don't get caught up in the Joneses. Figure it out, what you want to do. Find your inner self and your inner passion, and just keep working towards it. And if the path changes at some point, that's okay. You steer clear, make a new choice, but as long as you're continuing to learn and grow, that's a goal, right? That's the mission.
Kiana.
You said it, but mine would be to never stop learning. Be an eternal student, because even when you master your craft, there's always more to learn about another department that affects yours, and together you're way more stronger than you are by yourself. So for example, at a hotel, we have several different departments. We do have sales, and we have engineering, and we have front office, and we have housekeeping, marketing, bell desks. We have it all. And so even if you master your individual department, don't cap yourself there. Learn another area, because when you learn that area, you're going to learn about what you can do better to be more efficient from your side, and also what they're doing, because most don't even understand how others operate. And so I think you really limit your success when you don't try to learn what the rest of the operation is doing, or, she has to learn so much more about the airlines, because she doesn't just sell sales. You have to really learn what it is that you're talking about and who you are and what you represent. So just never stop learning, be an eternal student, and don't cap your success.
Kerwinn.
So I like how you said don't cap your success. Part of my advice is, open your perspective. Yes, you just work hotel, but yes, you're in the front desk. But do you understand any other positions too? You want to have that perspective, because if you want to work your way up into life, you want to be a respected leader. And to me, a respected leader knows what they're doing. For me on the ramp, I understand, yes, I don't talk to people on the ramp. Bags don't yell at me. So, but I started at the ramp because it's my way to get into the foot in the door, and now it's there. I understand how it operates down there. It's not easy at all. It's physically demanding, but with the people I'm with, of course, we make it through. It's fun every day for me. Now, a few more months, maybe a year or so, I want to work my way up. I want to go back to customer service if I can. Now that I understand what the ramp is going through, I can respect what they have to do, because, I lift the bags up if I was customer service, put it on the belt. Think about that, 200 bags every flight. You work 5 flights a day. I'm lifting about over 40,000 pounds a day. still kind of small. But open up your, expand yourself. Don't have the blinders like the horses, work wherever you want to be. When I was in KCC as the host student, I just wanted to work airlines. Right now, I'm networking with the other people in my company. I've talked to flight attendants. Oh, maybe I want to go in flight one day. If it might, but I kind of want to stay home too. So, but I do enjoy talking to others, helping people out. Customer service might be a better choice for me, but with that perspective of being on the ramp and whatnot, it works out. Plus, like I said, a more respectable leader is someone who knows what they're doing. I always, I can't be saying this kind of stuff. No, I would just say in general, if you have a manager or a leader who's only had one certain experience or is off the street, they don't know what's going on wherever else. They only have one trait. They're what was that? The one trick pony show. I want to have someone who has the variety, who knows what they're doing everywhere. That's so I know, hey, you understand me, I understand you, I respect you. And then that's how you earn respect for each other. But at the same time, you gotta treat each other how you want to be treated. So with that being said, take the initiative to. I always tell my trainees, take the initiative. Don't wait to be told what to do, because at that point you're not being proactive, you're being reactive. If you end up doing that extra step, who knows? That might help you in the long run. You might meet someone along the way. You might take that extra step that you never knew that you had. Open your perspective, take that initiative.
Bart, close us out. Words of advice.
What they said. No, a lot of things are similar of what they said already. I strongly believe in doing something that you're passionate in. The truth is, like most jobs, you will work pretty hard and you don't make that crazy much of money. There's a few jobs where you work a little and you get a lot of money. So the reality is that you're going to go to work and there's going to be hard days. And if you are not passionate about what you do, those hard days are going to be very long days. I have hard days as well from time to time. I had a guest screaming at me this morning. And that happens sometimes. But I have so many nice things happening in my job as well. And then these little things, they don't mean anything. Like, it just washes off and then because you're passionate about what you do. And I enjoyed the 10 other people that were happy, like afterwards in my hotel, that reached out to me and said like, hey, I had such a wonderful time. Or you meet them and you see return guests and you hug when they check in, and passion will make a difference. So do what you want to do and what you feel passionate about. Another thing that I heard was and I would call it like, be kind to others, like make time for them. Like, the reality is you can't do anything by yourself. I told you I lead 80 people, so I can't do their job. They have to do their job. And I work with other departments in my hotel that come and ask me all kinds of things. And the reality is I have to make time for them. I have to take time for my employees. I have to take time for my colleagues, because the reality is tomorrow I'm going to need them. And if you're not kind to others and you don't take the time to listen and spend time with them, it's going to be a lonely ride as well. There's no job that you do just by yourself. There's always people that you help, and then also people that need to help you. So don't forget that as well.
Jasmine, Kiana, Kerwinn, Bart, thank you so much. Round of applause to our panel. Wonderful, wonderful words of advice. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, everyone online, for being here. Thank the IT people that's back there doing all the hard work. Amy and their host team for bringing the panelists in. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you know, Deb opened the bookstore just for this event today. She came back to open it up. Roman, who supplied all the food out there, that was really awesome. Paula, Kiko, and Joel for the music. Thank you for that. You guys are awesome. Lisa, who was in and out, she did our marketing, which was great, but a lot of helping hands to make this work. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a great night. Stay the course. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Sheldon.
stickers by the door if you'll be